She said, you know that love is not a sin, but you worry what the people say when they see me with you. And wonder what the crowd will say when they find us together. Yes. Wonder what the people say when they know we're in love. Worry what the crowd will say. You pass them on the street, yes, greet you with a smile, hey, as broad as the Nile, boy. They'll say all kinds of goody goody to you, yes. They'll linger for a while over in your mind. You wanna go, you wanna stay, it seems that you can never ever make your mind about it. Well, but if you know that love is deep within you, why should you worry what the folks will say when they see me with you? Worry what the crowd will say when they find us together. Wonder what the people say when they know we're in love. Wonder what the people say. Hey, hey, ah, yeah. Ay, 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 ay. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Sitting in your church on Sunday, thinking who you're gonna,
We are going to start now.
who you're gonna.
DJLT, where were you born and what part of that country were you from?
Well, I was born in St. Lucia, a place called Soufrière, the community. Yes?
Yeah. What was it like growing up in St. Lucia?
Well, I must say it was very interesting growing up as a child in our community. It was a very friendly community back then when we grew up. We used to do a lot of kiddie stuff growing up. For example, bathing in the rain. We used to go by the beach every Sunday, play football and cricket, mix up with the kids. And, run around like kids do. Play games at night, by the street side. But nowadays, things have changed. You wouldn't get this anymore. We used to take a plastic bucket, a lid of a plastic bucket, and roll it, have a metal, how you call it? I forget the word. We just roll it all in the street, have a little truck. We used to have fun. It was very interesting growing up in the Caribbean as a child.
That is very interesting to hear that. So, my next question. Why do you do interviews and what inspired you to do it?
Why do I do interviews? Sometimes, you want to find out the lifestyle of the artist, how they become successful, and plus, as a radio presenter, you must have content to give your listeners as well. So that's why I do quite a few interviews with these big name artists on them. Because as I said, people want to know the lifestyle, how they become successful, how they grew up when they was a child, what happened to them, stuff like that. So it's very interesting in interviewing these big name artists.
That is very interesting. So you're basically learning about their personality.
Well, yes, indeed, of course. Sometimes you hear them on the radio, you hear the songs everywhere, and you want to find out, okay, I wonder how he started. I wonder how he reached there. So you ask them certain questions, and of course, your listeners on the other side, they find it very interesting as well.
Okay, so the next question is, do you like reggae or soca more? It can be both.
That's an interesting question. Whether I like reggae or soca more. To me, to be honest, I love them just the same because I love music. a lot, and so I cannot even say I love soca more or I love reggae more. So I love them just as equal. I just love music.
So you basically like love both of them
Yes, indeed.
in an
Yes.
equal way.
Yes, I love them both just as much as each other.
Okay. So next
I mean,
question.
it's a very interesting question. People have asked me this before on many occasions. Um, what do I prefer, reggae or soca? And I was telling them I love them just the same. You know, I cannot say I love reggae more, I love soca more.
So the next question is, how would you feel if you were interviewed by a reggae or soca artist or both of them?
Um, would I be? Well, I think so. I think I'll be happy if one of them interview me. You know, I will let them know how I feel about the music and stuff like that. So it would be very interesting. Yes, I would love that one day.
This is like one bonus question. So would you tell them something about your life and what happened in your childhood?
Well, I would say I had an interesting childhood. It's just that my mom had five of us, and you know, they brought us up. They struggled. They were working. They had to send us to school. You know, so it's a bit tough on my parents growing up because she had to feed five of us, five boys. So it was a bit tough on our parents.
That is a really hard job though, because you have five children and you have to feed them one by one, or you just have to feed them both.
Well, the question you'll have to ask Granny when you meet her. So she did her best with five of us.
But that was really hard working, anyways.
Well, for her, I think it was hard work. Yeah, she had to look after us, then go to work. So it was a bit tough when you have five kids to bring up, to raise, you know.
And there's another bonus question: did your five brothers, and even including you, go to school together?
Um,
Basically at the same school.
well, some of us did, yes, because some of us was older than each other, so different forms and stuff like that.
So the next question: is interviewing important in your life? It could be because you love reggae and soca artists and you really want to know about them. Like why?
Is interview important in my life? I wouldn't say it's important. It's something I enjoy doing, and as I said before, as a presenter, you must have content. You know, if you have listenership, you know, you want them to feel happy. You want them to stick to the station for them to listen. So you must have material to give them.
So basically like good music. Good music to cheer them up. Even if their day is low, you can make it high by doing good music.
Well, of course, yeah, that's quite interesting actually. Music just cheer people up a lot. I've had people text me before, tell me they were feeling low when they tune into RFI radio. They start feeling very happy. So yes, you're right. Music does cheer people up.
So when did you start interviewing and why did you start this?
Um, well, it's a while back. I started doing interviews on another radio station called Blues FM. I think one of the first artists I interviewed was a guy called Trini Boy Juicy, a soca artist here, and now he's doing very well now. So he was one of the first guy I did interview, but he was on a different radio station. So it's something that I said I do enjoy doing.
So that is really interesting because you love to interview people, and that's your first interview, and I know you came up with a lot of questions like you do.
Yes, I always have interesting questions to ask them, and you know, you have to prepare your interview before you go on the radio. So I always have interesting questions to ask them. And even today, he always say the first person to interview him was DJ LT. So he always says this wherever he travel around the world.
So there's a bonus like statement here. So basically, you come up with a lot of questions, and you say you have enough time, and they really enjoyed it, and you do part 2 of it, and it's really good. What do you think about interviewing every day?
No, I don't think I could do this every day. You know, that is working as well, so that's why I try to do it on a weekend when everybody's off and everybody's home relaxing. So Not something I could do every day. No.
So, our last question before this interview is finished. I think I have bonus questions. So, the question is, would you like to be a reggae or soca artist? And for example, you can have a reggae artist because they have a lot of tune in their songs and they put a lot of love music and people really like it.
Say that again. Asking it again.
So, would you like to be a reggae or soca artist?
That's interesting, actually. To me, maybe a soca artist, but just to let you know, I haven't got the voice to sing anyway. So what I'm working on now, I'm working on a project. I'm about to release a rhythm. Maybe it might come out. It meant to come out last year, but because of the COVID, it didn't come out. So I'm working on this. I'm going to send it to Grenada. So it's called a Jab Jab rhythm. So fingers crossed, I might release this maybe this year.
So it's basically gonna be you singing.
No, I wouldn't be singing. I would love to. I'd love to sing, but I haven't got the voice to sing.
It doesn't matter. You can still sing, even though if you don't have the voice to sing, you can still sing because people likes. It's normally singers don't believe in themselves and they do it and it works. So what about if you do it?
Well, I'll give it a thought. I'll give the thought just for you. I'll try something, but I'm not sure if it will work out.
So I have some bonus questions here. So, do you remember anything about your school days?
Yeah, growing up it was fun. Play a lot of sports. Play cricket. I did take part in athletics as well, volleyball, basketball. So I was very sporty back then in my school days. And also at a very tender age, went to an infant school. Been taught by Auntie Celerina. Yeah, she taught me at the infant school, which was fun as well. Yeah, so it was great going to school back then.
So another question is, what is the most challenging things you experienced while growing up?
Most challenging thing growing up. Well, growing up, you have to prepare for when you leave school as well. And when I left school, went to work with my dad, so that was a bit challenging because you prepare yourself when you leave school. What's out there for you, So all I'd say, well, when you're at school, you're thinking of okay, what you're going to do when you leave school, and stuff like that. So when I left school, the first job I had was with my dad because he used to be a builder. So I was working for him then. So that was quite challenging though.
Well, builders are really hardworking. They can work from day to night, and sometimes they have breaks, but shorter ones. And our next question is, when you go to when you leave school, do you do something like an activity like sporty stuff and doing stuff like, for example, you go to play football and when Granny tells you to come back, you come back. So what do you normally what activities do you do?
Yeah, my mom dad was very, very strict. She used to allow us to go and watch football sometimes, and we used to beg her, And there's a team called Basco, I think, and we used to tell her, Mom, can we go and watch the football? And she did tell us no. And when we mentioned it's the priest boys because she used to go to church, Catholic church, and when we tell her the priest boys are playing, she would tell, okay, we can go. So we used to be so happy. So, but she was very strict, very, very strict. My mom and dad were very strict. So we're not allowed to go anywhere much as kids used to go to a cinema. We're never allowed to go to the cinema.
So if you want to go to a movie that includes something like education, would she let you go?
Not really. As I said, when they used to have this a thing called matinee every Sunday for kids, and we were never allowed to go. We were just in the balcony watching everybody walk up and down, and we were just there. We couldn't go. My mom wouldn't let us go.
And what was that about?
Different movies they used to show. It's called matinee, the Sunday movies. and all the kids used to go down there. So my mom never allowed us to go to the cinema.
So this is a question. Maybe you might get scared to answer. Do you think your brothers are very annoying when you're little?
I think I used to annoy one of my brothers. That was the one just before me, Lucius. I used to follow him everywhere. If he go in the balcony, I used to come too, and so he used to get upset with me, every time. So that's why I think today we are so close as well. But yeah, I used to annoy him a lot.
What about your other brothers? Did they used to annoy you too?
No, they never used to annoy me. But I think I used to annoy Lucius a lot because I used to follow him everywhere. If you go in the backyard, I used to follow him as well. So we were yeah. So I used to annoy him.
Basically, if he goes in the kitchen, you come with him as well. If he goes to his bedroom, you come with him as well. Is that what you're basically trying to say?
Yes, but only couple times he used to annoy me. We used to share the same room, and he used to love music, play guitar, and the first thing he does, as soon as he gets up in the morning, he would take the guitar and start playing, and
you would get really annoyed because it's early in the morning, and you at least just wait for a minute until the afternoon, and then you just can go and have your rest, and then after, if people don't get annoyed, then he can play his guitar, but sometimes in the mornings he wakes up. He does nothing. The only thing he wants to do is play his guitar. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, yes, he loved his music. He loved his music a lot. So that's the only time he used to annoy me, when he played the guitar.
So that's all. He didn't do anything else, but you used to annoy him. You used to annoy him more.
Well, as I said, he was always upset with me sometimes when I had to follow him around the house. So as I said, when he goes to the backyard, I used to go after him, and so. Yeah, I used to get annoyed with that sometimes.
Do you get in trouble by your mom and dad?
If I got in trouble, of course. Yeah, I was getting in trouble.
Because you keep on annoying him.
No, not because of that. Kids just kids. Sometimes you do naughty stuff and you get beat.
So I have the last question until we're finished. So the last question is, when you were a teenager and you went to university, what first job did you get, and what was your favorite player in basketball? Because you used to play basketball, and you always used to win and stuff because you're very, very tall, and you used to normally shoot, and then you go and people celebrate. So what's your great player in basketball?
Well, my favorite player was Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Some of my friends used to call me Scottie Pippen when I used to play in St. Lucia.
Why do you think that? Why did you think they called you that?
They reckon the style of play, and I resemble him just a little. So that's why they call me Scottie Pippen.
So they're saying that you're similar to him.
Well, I think so.
What about Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan is a good player. Do you think that you're like him, or do you think you're better?
Oh no. He's way better than me. Way better than me. He was.
So, was basketball your favorite sport?
Yes, I would say that. It was my favorite sport.
What about football? You told me you used to be a goalkeeper and used to save goals all the time. So, do you think you enjoy that, or does it hurt a little bit because you have to dive?
I used to enjoy being a goalkeeper in St. Lucia. It's something I enjoy doing, playing football. It was great fun being a goalkeeper.
And what about cricket? Because you told me that you did basketball, football, but what about cricket? Because cricket is actually sometimes very hard game because you have to just hit it on the floor, or you can hit it all the way up, and someone has to try get it to get a wicket, isn't it?
Well, it was another sport I enjoy playing as well, cricket. I used to be a wicket keeper for my club, just called it SYO. I play for many clubs in Sufra, in my community. So cricket, I used to enjoy playing very, very, very much.
Out of those three, which one is your most favorite?
I would say basketball because I played Division One league in this country for about 9 years, and I think we won the league about 8 years. So I've had enough. So I'm getting too old for that now. So I don't play anymore.
In you know when you're a little young and you're very tall. Do people used to say that you're very tall and you could do anything like play basketball and stuff? Did they just inspire you to play basketball because you're really tall?
Yeah, I mean, when I grew up, I was the tallest in my family, and it's a sport I always used to like. So with my height, I say to myself, okay, let me go and try play basketball. So that's how I ended up playing the basketball, and my height was a big bonus as well, a big advantage.
You were very tall, but you wasn't older, were you?
No, I wasn't the oldest. No, I was one before the last.
So, how were you able to get the contacts with all those big artists? I don't know how. Maybe it's because people could sending it to you, or you just get them. What do you think?
How I contact the big artists? It's an interesting question actually. Some of them, to be honest, they reach out to me because they listen to other interviews, and most of them are friends as well. And they would say to me, DJ LT, can you interview such and such? And they would ring me up and they will, arrange a day or time for the interview. So the world just go wrong.
So you basically mean that you're very excited to do that. Even if you do one artist at a time for a whole day, would you still be really happy?
Yes, I would. I would be very happy. Tomorrow I'll be interviewing another big soca artist called Crazy. You have a big number hit song called Nanny Wine. And he rang me today actually. He said to me he want me to interview a guy called the Mighty Chokdas, which is another big name Calypsonian worldwide. So let's wait and see.
Are you very excited? Because I know you love doing interviews. Sometimes you don't and you're very sad. Sometimes you do and you're very excited and you get really, really, really happy and people congratulate you. Is that what you normally like to do?
Well, I said it's fun for me interviewing these artists. So I do enjoy it, I must say. I really do enjoy interviewing them.
So I have one more question. It's about singing. So if you were singing and you had talent, and if you were singing and you had a talent, and people and you got famous and you got money, lots of money, like £1 million, what would you do with it? What would you do to spend that money?
Wow, what would I do? I think I will help my community a lot. I'll be very charitable. I would feed the poor, the needy. I've always said that if I become a millionaire one day, I will look after the poor people, the underprivileged kids as well.
Well, let's see if you will become a millionaire because I know you do lots of interviews and you might as well. And some interviews get money, isn't that right?
Yes, they do. I normally post my interviews on YouTube. The more views you get, I think you're entitled to some form of payment. But let's see how it goes. It's still early days.
Guys, he wants you to subscribe so he can at least he can get some money and he can get some money and he can be a billionaire because he actually he really loves his channel and he wants to post even more interviews, so you have to stay tuned for that.
Okay, no problem. You tell them they have to subscribe to my channel. That's Chris DJ LT Music. So let's see how it goes.
So I have one more question until we finish because I've been saying we have one more question and I keep on going on.
Yes.
So I hope I'm not annoying you.
No, you don't annoy me. No.
Okay, so when you first started going on this, when you first started doing the radio, and you did your first ever tune and stuff, did it take you a long time to produce music and jingles and stuff? And did you have to download it? And did it give you do you see late sometimes when you try to get it back?
Do I sleep late? Yes, sometimes I do sleep late because I have to sort out a lot of music. The producers do send me and the artists as well, and I have to arrange them. So sometimes I'll be up late, maybe 1:40, 2 o'clock, just sorting music out, you know. And you asked me about the jingles. Sometimes the artists, they would send me the jingles alongside with a song, and they would say to me, DJLT, can you push this? And they send me a jingle, or or a dubplate or something.
So, your music and jingles. Your jingles can become from you, from the founders of RFI, or artists. And you have, if it's okay, if I can tell everyone that your songs got deleted, and you had to stay up all night to do them, and you were getting really tired, and you slept until, was it 9 or 8? It was 8. It was 9 o'clock, and you were very stressed, and you really needed some sleep.
Yes, I was. You're exposing me destiny. Yes, I was very, very stressed. I deleted some folders accidentally, and it took me at least 9 hours to retrieve them and put them back in order. So I was very annoyed at that time.
So at least you got them back, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be able to do this, would you?
Well, I had someone. Well, it wasn't the whole file that got deleted.
It was some of them.
Some of them got deleted, yes, accidentally, and it took me about 9 hours to sort them out. So that's why that night I went to bed that late, and I wasn't very happy.
Do you think that was very hard working? Because, would you say? Okay, I have another question. How were when you're a little? You were very little.
Yeah.
So, were you or were you not happy about you having your 5 brothers being with you? Because if you had no siblings, then you would be alone. How would you feel?
I don't know. If I was alone, I don't know. I think my mom and dad will still look after me, but it's nice growing up with brothers or sisters.
So I just need to tell the fans something. You only have 5 brothers and you have no sisters. Isn't that right? Or you have a sister?
No, I have no sisters. There's 5 of us, 5 siblings.
Well,
5 boys.
It's still hard. Even if you have one sister, then it'll be 7 siblings your mom has to take care of, and it's gonna be really hard work.
Well, yeah, it will still be hard work. Whether it's 5 or 6 or 7, it will still be hard work for your mom and dad to look after all these kids. They go to work, put food on the table, feed them every day. So it's still hard work, yes.
Okay, last one. In university. Okay, there's another question. You know when you're interviewing a reggae or soca artist?
Yeah.
How would you feel if a reggae artist on the phone asks you if they can interview you, so on the station while you're on the phone? How would you feel if they asked you?
I wouldn't have a problem with that. I mean, they're more than welcome to interview me if they want to. So I wouldn't have a problem at all.
So that's the end of the interview. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I wasn't annoying with these weird questions.
No, not at all. It was not annoying at all. I think they were quite interesting questions, and thank you very much for having me on RFI Radio 102.1.
You were already on RFI Radio, so you don't have to thank me. I hope you guys enjoyed this interview with DJ LT. Again, I hope I didn't annoy him and ask him with these weird questions, because it's about his personality. So I hope you guys had a pleasant day on RFI Radio 102.1 FM, Coastal Station, the pulse of the nation.
Just walk away. It's tearing me apart that you're leaving.
The track that's playing now is Don't Turn Around by Aswad.
And I won't let you know.